Before we check the markets in Nigeria, of course, we are celebrating Africa Day today, and in the continent with over a billion citizens, today Africa recognizes the achievements of its people and governments in this year's celebration. CNBC Africa's Oluwatosin Olasanyide spoke to Obiageli EZEKWESILI, a former vice president at the World Bank for Africa, on the policies that can impact the present state of the continent and the significance of celebrating Africa Day. Take a look.
I think first and foremost, Africa is home. And I am yet to see people who really are into their continent like Africans, even where economic imperatives make them go away and live in other continents. You just see the average African always thinking about home. So Africa is home to at least 1 billion people now, and it's the place where the heart really is all the time, especially because it's a continent that has not emerged into the greatness that its potentials convey.
You said that Africa has not reached its full potential. What can be done to fasten the development of Africa?
I think the key one is the fact that Africa was ridden with a lot of poor governance, occasioned by the military adventurism that was prevalent across the continent, and the despotic rules in some parts of the continent over a period of time. Increasingly, what we see is that most of Africa is democratized. And even though the democracies in many of these countries are yet fledgling or nascent, it still is democracy, which means that the opportunity for voice and participation is higher today in Africa than it used to be. Now, the next phase is going to be consolidating the democratic institutions that would support accountability, transparency, probity, and the demand for results in governance. As long as the citizens of Africa are not participating in demanding for governance results, we will have the kind of low performance scorecards that is still prevalent in a number of the countries. So that's key, getting the citizens engaged in the democratic process, demanding for results, demanding for good governance. Then the second would be for Africa to pursue even more rapidly the structural change of the economies. Most of the economies are still very dominant in natural resources. And yet the opportunities in Africa are just so much. So new sources of growth need to begin to emerge. And that means new sets of microeconomic type structural policies. And so Africa pushing those policies would be key for new sectors. We see what telecommunication today is doing in Africa. Tourism has the potential, financial services has the potential, agriculture, livestock, fisheries, agribusiness in general, incredible. Even above all, technology and green growth. They have incredible potentials for the continent, but there must be policy. Policy goes before this. What Africa achieved in telecom was because of sound policies, and we need it for all these other sectors. That structural shift. Light manufacturing sector is going to be important for Africa, because light manufacturing sector is evidence of the fact that the intellectual capital of the continent is moving up the value chain in the production of goods. And then services are very important. The policy is good, but building institutions, very critical. Institutions would safeguard the continent against the occasional rollback or the frequent rollback of policies that happen. If you can get the right kind of institutional processes that would ensure continuity of good policies. And as I said, the citizen's voice is key for those institutions to actually function and to deliver the right results. And then, of course, massive investment. Africa needs massive investment in energy, in other infrastructure, and the resources that it needs to mobilize is huge. So it's going to require a lot of collaboration with private sector through public-private partnerships and the involvement of its diaspora in this process. So all of these go together, and that's where the issue of the women come in. Africa's women are Africa's secret weapon for its development. Once we can tap into the humongous resources that lie with the women, both in terms of their intellect, in terms of their creativity, in terms of their talent, we would certainly be able to make much more progress with Africa.